Why'd you say that shit about Joe, bro? You jealous, bro?
Yeah, you some kind of hater, bro?
Friggin' hater, man.
Joe is gonna crush you with his 250 million.
He's fucking rich.
That's for sure.
250 million.
So cool. Bro, if you didn't like the special, you could just ignore it and move on instead of writing a 40-minute hate trash piece about it.
Jealous.
Why don't you make something positive for once?
Hater.
You contribute nothing to society. Joe's got the courage and heart to pursue his hobby and
Are they just reading my comments?
get up on that stage while you jack off in your mom's basement, bro.
Yeah, Jack.
Where's your special, bro?
Liberal? Come. I mean, liberal tears.
But you got a problem with his politics, bro.
Yeah, what is it? You got a problem with his
Stupid
politics?
idiot.
You can't stand someone having a different opinion about it?
So I'm not going to lie. I was a little concerned when I went to the Elephant Graveyard's page this week and I saw that his #1 video, the one that I covered about Joe Rogan's latest special, had been delisted. So that made me kind of start wondering, was it a copyright strike or did he get mass flagged for by, you know, the Rogan heads? And it seems that it is the latter because his channel or the video is now back on his channel. However, the Surf Times did a pretty good piece where they tackled pretty much everything that's happened in the last 2 to 3 weeks with Joe Rogan, and they also covered the Elephant Graveyard's previous video of Joe Rogan, which it all ties very nicely into what has been happening with the online discourse over his new special, because even on my channel, I have been getting a lot of hate in the comment section, and it's mostly these Rogan bros that it's kind of like they have this weird, like, I gotta protect the daddy syndrome. Like, it's very, I've always kind of found that odd that, like, the surrogacy thing where you're just gonna go argue as a surrogate for somebody that doesn't give a crap about you and doesn't even know you exist. I've always kind of found that odd, but you know what? Why not check out somebody else's coverage? Because, yeah, unfortunately, the other video that I was going to cover was taken. That one was actually delisted off of his channel and it's not come back. So this is kind of the easiest way to see it. So let's take a look, shall we? I'm up here today. Let's go.
We need Jesus.
He's almost there, guys.
I think for real. Like, Jesus, if you're thinking about coming back,
Right now?
now's a good time.
Pretty soon, yeah.
Now's a good time. We're kind of fucked.
Well, there's a lot of people that think that might be coming.
Well, it might be.
Mark of the beast.
That might be the aliens.
I mean,
There's not enough time in the day to finish tasks I need to do. Okay, I've been wanting to paint the bathroom for so long. Who has time to sit there and listen to this fucking, again, just it
Okay, well, right away I can already, I've always hated Lance's laugh. I'm just going to say it. Also, if you need to paint the bathroom, then paint your bathroom. You know what? You technically had the time to listen to his special or Elephant Graveyard's whole spiel and paint your bathroom because, you know, this whole multitasking thing, we have, oh my gosh, what's this? Yeah, we got the technology to do it, but okay.
It reminds me of the most annoying stone conversations you ever had in high school, where the other person all of a sudden thinks that they've just stumbled upon some kind of brilliant observation when all they're saying is that, like, clouds would be fun to hug. You ever look up at clouds and think, like, man, that would feel really cool to hug them?
All right, as this is gonna sound weird, but as a stoner, I have actually hugged a cloud. And I'm not making, like, I'm not even kidding. I went to the Science and Industry Museum and they had this, it was like a vapor funnel where it kind of like creates like a mini tornado, but it creates a cloud. And yeah, it does feel kind of cool. Quite literally. It's like a mist.
His Netflix special, his comedy one, and it was devastating, to say the least. I don't think I've ever seen a more powerful takedown of Joe Rogan. Everything from fully exposing him for being a joke thief, not only of other comics, but also recycling his own jokes from other past specials, to how he clearly can't concentrate long enough. The bombs, pointing out all the times he bombed the nipple and breast.
Hey, the concentration factor, I'm not going to attack that. That's pot meat kettle.
Sweat that accumulated over time while he was doing the stand-up special. And then, honestly, the probably saddest aspect of the whole thing is, like, his inability to recognize that it's well past his due, that this is not a craft in which, like, something he takes so profoundly seriously. He's cried on camera before talking about how important it was for him to be a comic and know that he was an actual comedian, and being able to do a live set was one of the most profoundly inspirational moments of his life. All of that. Oh, not to mention the whole, you know, possibly being bisexual or something else. Just he's got a lot of really
figure block his chat. We don't need that kind of distraction.
Big obsession with wanting to know what a penis feels like inside of him, but not in like a gay way, in that he wants to know what it feels like to be a woman. And
Sorry, I missed that first part. I was focusing on my screen. So that was a little jarring.
of a man's penis penetrate you, and that seems to be a running theme where multiple times he's talked about it, and had, you know, especially when he gets like kind of drunk and stoned and he's sitting across from someone else and they're having conversations, and then he's like, not a lot of men have the courage to talk about this, but
He's been talking about that for years. And I'm talking, this goes back like early 2000s. So,
I do fantasize about what it would be like to have a man's penis inside me, but as a woman, right? No homo. So it was, again, a pretty wild, devastating takedown. And it got taken down. It's gone. I don't know what the story is behind there. I tried looking it up on the internet. The Elephant Graveyard hasn't given too much information on it. I don't know if it's because they got swarmed by Joe Rogan fans. I can tell you firsthand, Joe Rogan fans on the internet can be vicious. One of the first viral videos I ever had
oh boy, can they?
was a video on Joe Rogan.
Oh, hey, me too.
That was way before it was cool.
The funniest part is I totally watched that just because I wanted to see it. So I was like, yeah, you know what? Let's give this a watch.
By the way, I made a video taking down Joe Rogan, and that this was like years before liberals started hating him. This was years before, like, the only people who really identified how horrible
Oh, yeah, I was hating Joe Rogan before it was cool, guys.
he was going to become at that time were leftists and leftist channels, but there wasn't
Dude.
like a lot of Joe Rogan, a measured response, you know, stuff. So I ended up putting a video out on that. It was either that one or the PewDiePie one, whichever one got our channel.
Okay, like this guy, he really does fit the mold of a virtue signaler. Like, just every time I hear that term, now I can just think, it's like, who are they referring to? Oh, yeah, Lance.
YouTube channel flagged so much that it eventually got deleted.
Whoa, you know what? I was so based that I saw the writing on the wall. I knew Joe Rogan. He was going to go down he was going to have some brainworms, and he was going to totally go like far right red pill. And I was going to cover it oh man.
And taken down, which is why I've got, I don't know if you can make it out, but just behind me over there is a frame of the apology that YouTube made towards me when the channel got reinstated, due to the solidarity of the left, I might say. That's how I got to meet Michael Brooks in the Majority Report and a whole bunch of big accounts.
Okay, that's actually kind of cool. Wow, I didn't realize that's how he took off, was just making a Joe Rogan video, having it removed, and then having it reinstated. Interesting.
Retweeted that I had gotten falsely taken down and struck, but that could have been from Joe Rogan fans. I'm not
does this mean I have to get a Twitter just in case?
not sure. It could have been from PewDiePie fans. I'm not totally sure, but I don't know why the Elephant Graveyard took it down. So he just uploaded a new video that says we got him, which I haven't seen.
Why'd you say that shit about Joe, bro? You jealous, bro?
Yeah, you some kind of hater, bro?
Friggin' hater, man.
Joe is gonna crush you with his 250 million.
He's fucking rich.
That's for sure.
250 million.
So cool. Bro, if
It's just unlisted. Wonder why. I would like, part of me feels like that could just be because it's a really scary thing to get Streisand on the internet, because like you're most people are used to kind of like organic growth, right? I upload one video, I get 10.
I can speak to that. Just as a really, really small channel, I mean, I just started a few weeks ago. It was insane to go to bed and like I had uploaded my Joe Rogan video and I was like, oh, maybe I'll get a couple hundred views, you know, maybe I was just kind of looking for organic growth, where I was just like, yeah, you know what, I'm getting like tens of views here and there. Maybe this one will hit like a couple hundred. I woke up and I had over like a couple thousand. And I didn't know how to really deal with it because all of a sudden I started getting all the hate comments. I started getting pushed in the algorithm a little bit more, so I had way more engagement. And it was just so fast. So I really didn't know how to process it so like quickly. And I'm not sure if this has contributed to these. I had some other stuff going on, but I had like a panic attack, just kind of, you know, thinking about all this stuff, and legit like a full-blown panic attack. Didn't go to the hospital. I was able to work my way out of that one, but yeah, I haven't had one of those in like since I was like 13. So it was kind of it was kind of wild, man. But I know exactly what he's talking about. It really does kind of scare you a little bit, where you're just like, whoa, I was not expecting this.
Subscribers. I make one tweet, I get 2 subscribers kind of thing, and then it goes like that. But it's really different when you get like the viral growth out of nowhere. Like all of a sudden one of your videos just takes off, like that Joe Rogan one did, and all of a sudden it goes like into the millions.
And it's so weird how it's Joe Rogan. Like Man, Joe Rogan is probably responsible for the success of a bunch of leftist YouTubers.
Views where you
doesn't even realize it.
used to getting like 30,000, 40,000, 50,000, and that puts a lot of eyes on you, especially
I mean, that'd be nice.
from Joe Rogan fans, right? That could have been
He's talking numbers that.
the reason why.
You just can't do that.
No way. Yeah, well, this guy's fucking done, man. We're gonna take him out of here. You won't be seeing him no more, all right?
Yeah, man, there are fucking rules out here. You gotta
Rules,
respect
bro.
that hierarchy, bro. Rules, or you will be taken.
And if you follow, like I went down the rabbit hole of watching most of the entirety of his channel, and so he's for a while been making videos really critical of Joe Rogan, Steven Crowder.
Yeah, there's that's the reason I'm watching this one specifically from him, is because I went to go look for he did another Joe Rogan video where it had like a bunch of older clips, but it was very, very like in context to what this situation was. So I was kind of like, oh yeah, you know what? I'll cover that and see like what the comments were on his video and kind of go through it. But yeah, that one is completely gone too.
Peterson, the IDW assholes, and you can tell that like between each video, there's kind of like he's clearly getting a lot of hate, because when the next one uploads, it's like, all right, guys, I know a lot of you hated what I said about Joe Rogan, but that's just because you have single-digit IQs. You don't have triple-digit IQs.
Well, I mean, again, you, Mr. Virtue Signaler, are missing the jokes here, where it's like, number one, I don't think he is as bothered as you think he is, which, I mean, I can only speak for me personally. I don't really get bothered by it. You know what? I look at the YouTube comments sometimes. You know what? The nasty ones, especially if they're funny. The funny ones are the ones that hurt a little bit more, because it's like, damn it, they're right. But yeah, you know what? If you're gonna let YouTube comments get to you and take you off the internet, what are you doing here?
IQs like I do, and if you did, you'd be able to understand that what I said was completely correct. You know, so I don't know if this was the one, because again, it went so viral that he had to unlist it and then make this video showing the response to it.
Like this fucking goof right here.
Yo, this guy said Joe was 5'3", man. That is not cool.
That's messed
He's
up.
actually 5'5".
He's
You
jacked.
fucking liar. Misinformation. CNN liberal. LGTB library lover.
Okay.
Joe Rogan.
All right. Yeah, so we've taken your guy out into the woods here, burned his stupid little cabin down.
I can't say that stuff about our dad. I mean about Joe.
So say
Yeah, so it's
Joe Daddy.
a sketch. I feel.
goodbye to your little...
Oh my God, you even had to question that? What? Wow. Oh my God. He for even half a second thought that this was serious?
friend, everyone, and we've taken...
I mean, how can you sit there just... Oh, this is not serious. What?
over his whole compound here, smashed his computer.
Done. This one I wanted to share with you because it's actually a Joe Rogan story that I didn't know about, and this one is profoundly fucked.
All right, guys, in this video, we are going to be looking at some pretty shocking breaking news that just came out yesterday.
Yeah, this is the one that I wanted to go through, and I can't find it anymore. So I'm wondering if him covering this inadvertently did the thing where it's just like, it brought more attention, Elephant Graveyard got swamped again, and then was like, hey, you know what? I'm going to go take care of this one.
Today, regarding a recent Joe Rogan guest and examining whether Joe is culpable for some pretty heinous crimes. So, as many of you know, Joe Rogan is immune to BS. Joe explained how he acquired this ability on an episode with Brett Weinstein a couple years ago.
My personality that is just immune to bullshit. When bullshit hits me, I'm go, oh, I know what this is. I grew up without a dad, okay? I don't.
I grew up without a dad, so I know what bullshit looks like. Isn't that kind of antithetical to your whole argument? My dad taught me how to spot bullshit, so what are you talking about? Because, what, you just inherently mistrust all men? I mean, it seems like you take a lot of your guests at face value, so how's that work?
Don't trust people. I think there's a lot of bullshit in the world. You know, I've had people try to do things to me. I've been in dangerous situations. I know people can be sketchy. There's sketchy fucking people out there in the world. And the people that haven't experienced that and don't have that perspective, I can understand why they formed the conclusions that they did, because I could have been them. I 100% could have been them.
It's sound logic, guys. You really can't argue with it, and if you do, you're going to have to provide a 2,000-word essay explaining to me why you unfairly hate Joe Rogan. It's only fair. So if you have a dad, guys, well, I'm sorry to say that you are going to be susceptible to bullshit for the rest of your days.
Yep.
But if you're like Joe and your dad left one day because your
See? Exactly.
mom bought hamburger meat instead of T-bones, well, congratulations. You've managed to unlock the anti-bullshit feature of the human psyche that is only accessible to guys whose dads ran away. Well, guys, I don't know.
We call it being garried. That's from the Bonfire with Big J Okerson and Dan Soder from back in the day. It is now Big J Okerson and Bobby Kelly. But yeah, they used to call it getting garried because they both have deadbeat dads that left them, and their names are Gary. So that one stuck.
I don't know if we should believe it, because we've seen some pretty good dupes from Joe in just the last couple years.
There's kids, ready for this? My friend, his wife, is
one of my favorites.
a school teacher. And she works at a school that had to install a litter box in the girls' room because
Tell us more, Joe. Tell us more about your personal friend that totally had this happen.
there's a girl who's a furry who identifies as an animal. Here's the thing. If you could teach your cat to use the toilet, you would. Okay?
Yeah.
Like, you don't want a box of piss in your house. It's the worst.
First off, people have done that, you know.
It's very hard. I tried to do it with one of my cats who has since passed, and we got her to do it successfully a few times, but it never became like the main place that she went. But she did do it a few times.
They've gone through the trouble of doing it, and it can be done. It seems like a lot of work, but either way, this story.
By the way, just an aside, there's nothing more jarring than walking into a bathroom where usually we close the lid because I have dogs, but when we were trying to train her, obviously we had to leave it open. So it was kind of funny where you just walk in and have that little surprise where you're just like, oh, look at that. I mean, obviously we couldn't teach her to flush. That'd be something.
It was completely made up. It was a fabrication, first by Libs of TikTok. And then I think the Libs of TikTok post is what put it in Joe Rogan's brain. And then when Joe Rogan said it out loud, Libs of TikTok then used it.
Yeah, this is the way that Joe Rogan's brain works. He reads something and then he goes, oh, my friend, she's a teacher. She totally saw this and totally yeah, come on, man.
And this kind of really fucked up, transphobic Ouroboros to then say Joe Rogan confirmed story. Apparently his wife's friend is one of the actual people, to which he had to then issue a correction because it's completely made up.
Oh, weird how you're totally full of shit.
The litter boxes in the photo that Libs of TikTok was using, it's actually quite sad that the reason those are in classrooms is because there could be school shooters. And as a prevention measure, if they have to lock the rooms for the classrooms because someone is shooting children in the school and the kids need to use the bathroom, that could provide an emergency service for that. That was the reason why.
I've had cats my whole life. It's the worst thing about having cats. You got to clean that box of piss every day.
Yeah.
It's the greatest thing about dogs. They go outside. Like, if you...
That reminds me, I got something to take care of after I get off here.
You're a fucking human.
I mean, this is great material. This should be in his next special if he ever manages to make another one. Haven't heard a good take on cats versus dogs in a while, but that's timeless stuff. And of course, in the good old days, we had the Bondo ape incident.
Just recently they found a new species of chimpanzee in the Congo. A gigantic...
I remember listening to this live. Oh, man.
Gigantic chimpanzee that's over 6 feet tall. It's called the Bondo ape, 400 pounds. They kill lions.
All right, hold on.
Different than any other animal.
Does everyone remember this one? This one's really wild. Where there was an actual expert who called in. It's like, so that particular ape doesn't exist.
Yep.
You're buying into a internet rumor. It's just a fabrication of the internet, actually. And then he got so mad at her.
Allison from Florida is going to challenge you. Allison, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm a primatologist. There's no such thing as a Bondo ape.
You're a fucking idiot.
Again, this is the way that they think. Like, this is how, I hate to do this, but this is how Donald Trump supporters are, where you can bring any amount of fact, like any bad thing that Donald Trump actually did, where they have it on video, and they're just like, you're a fucking idiot.
PhD.
I know more than you. What? My mad brain so many muscles can just wrap around this way better than you.
I love that right out of the gates. So I'm a primatologist, and yeah, there's no such thing. You're an idiot. Fucking idiot. You have no idea what you're talking about.
When did you graduate? When?
When did you graduate? When did you graduate? This is new information.
From 2000. Yeah, I've been...
What are you laughing at? Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing? I'll tell you why you're laughing, because you don't have a point. So you're trying to, oh, you're ridiculous. I have a PhD. It's on National Geographic, stupid. National Geographic.
Yeah. This is kind of sad. This is when I was into this kind of, I was into Opie and Anthony, I was into Joe Rogan, and yeah. I probably even took his side on this, where I was just like, oh, what's this nerd know?
Geographic.com, CNN.com, stupid. No. There was Bones.
And we also had my personal favorite, the moon landing hoax stuff, which Joe was so deep into that he was going out for fancy dinners with one of the main moon landing hoax guys. That dork that Buzz Aldrin bopped in the face a while back. Yeah, this guy.
Why don't you swear on the Bible that you walked on the moon?
Did you tell him to get out of here?
This is a hotel.
We'll call the police.
And I
You
misrepresented
get away
myself?
from me.
You're a coward and a liar and a thief.
What a guy. These were all pretty funny, but unfortunately we now have a really big problem, guys. This might
I also highly recommend the old series by Penn and Teller bullshit on the moon landing being faked if you want some good laughs. They speak to this NASA scientist who's absolutely hilarious.
I kind of wish that I could cover that. I'm pretty sure that I would get that taken down very fast.
You can just tell how angry he gets by the topic. And when they're trying to talk about, like, okay, well, then how exactly was the flag moving if there is no air on the moon? Riddle me this. He's like, inertia, it's very low gravity. If you just touch it once, it would continue to move.
be my new favorite Joe duping yet. Joe just had this guy on a few weeks ago to discuss prison sentencing reform, I guess. And of course, Joe strapped himself into his booster seat, put on his full body bib, the kind with the sleeves and everything, and ate up that slop with a big spoon like a big hungry toddler.
Introduce your friend.
And I just want to preface this by saying it is so...
What kind of spoon would he use? He would probably... Ninja Turtles. Nah, because he's... No, what would Joe have? I don't know. Garfield. Nah, he would have a Garfield spoon.
Profoundly grotesque and fucked up that, like, one of the few times that Joe Rogan is willing to platform a very important topic. Like, holy fuck, bring Olayemi up on your show to talk about this, to talk about prison abolition, prison reform, all that kind of stuff, because these are very serious topics that do deserve to have the 11 million people who listen to your podcast listen to it. But when you did this, look what happened.
As much as I like Ole, I don't think she'd be able to handle that kind of attention, because she can barely handle the attention that she gets online now.
This is my my friend, my client, my brother, Sheldon Johnson. Typically, the person sitting to my right is someone that was wrongfully convicted. So I don't want to bury the headline. Sheldon is guilty. Another miracle sitting to my right, just like a marvelous human being who was basically told by a judge that you don't matter, you don't count, and I'm going to throw your life away for a crime in which the victim received 2 stitches on a second offense, his first offense being a gun possession charge.
All right, my fellow beard guys, you know what? I think you might know what's happening. I have a random hair from my beard stuck in one of my teeth.
So then this guy starts explaining.
Not fun.
Explaining his crime and what he did.
So then I come home and, I need my money. I need my money. It's just me being honest. This is me being straight. I gave you something.
Yeah, but Joe said he should be accountable. He's not a serious channel. Like, Spotify, whoever is in charge, because Spotify has, like, cleaned a lot of Joe Rogan episodes, especially the N-word ones. There's just, like, there was so many episodes where Joe Rogan was saying the N-word that Spotify had to basically erase a lot of the catalog. They took down a lot of the Alex Jones episodes as well, because pretty self-obvious reasons there, right? But is like, when you have a show that has 11 million viewers, most popular podcast in the world, you've been paid $200 million plus for the licensing of that. Is there no way to hire another Jamie? Can we get Jamie too? And he doesn't even have to be on camera, but just someone to vet guests. Someone to be like, hey, by the way, this person's going to come on the show tomorrow and they're going to be talking about prison reform. Okay, I'm going to do a simple Google search on this individual before doing this to find out whether or not this is going to be a story that could, in fact, impact the very topic that we're trying to bring light to.
And we had to understand he is.
Is it me?
5-0. And
so they give you 25 for each case? Is that
25 for each.
Watching this, I felt like I was being paranoid because Joe didn't raise any alarms at any point during this interview.
Also, it's one of those things where, again, this is a very serious topic, and it's one that deserves an audience. And, like, the fact that there is, again, the disproportionate mass incarceration of Black Americans, the fact that they are...
What did I say about virtue signaling earlier?
Not only over-incarcerated...
He's not necessarily wrong, but...
But their sentencing usually disproportionately is going to be way harsher than, say, their non-Black counterparts in the United States. All of that is very important. Bring light to it. If there had been any vetting of this individual beforehand, maybe the Joe Rogan team could have been like, oh, by the way, and I'm not going to bury the lead. You'll see in a couple seconds what the true story is. We could find someone else to talk about this, to advocate for this, because it would look extremely bad if it turned out that this individual may be doing some really, really bad things while at the same time trying to become an advocate for, say, things like prison reform.
But one of the things that's happened through all of our conversations that we've had on the show is it highlights how insanely broken the criminal justice system is and how little oversight there is and how few people are looking at these individual cases, and that you can have one judge who does what they did to you and no one's looking, no one cares, and the root cause of it.
Okay, so he even said that, like, his advocate guy said that he was guilty. So what exactly did the judge do except exercise judicial discretion? Like, this is the shit that honestly gets me angry about it, because as much as we need prison reform, assholes like this they're it's the antithesis to your argument, because he's actually proving why you need stronger checks in the system, is because guys like him I also don't want to bury the lead.
Never addressed. The root cause of, I mean, I've said it ad nauseum, but I'll say it again. Where the fuck did we come up with $100 and whatever billion to send to Ukraine?
Wow.
And we don't have any money?
How could Ukraine do this?
To try to do something?
The BS detector was not triggered, and this is creating
the BS detector was not
a
triggered.
big problem. I was just browsing through tonight's news headlines and couldn't believe what I saw.
Police make an arrest after a human torso and foot were found inside a building in the Bronx.
The suspect has been identified as Sheldon Johnson, a criminal justice activist who previously served time in prison.
Well, first of all, this guy said he had turned his life around after spending most of his adult life in prison. Well, now he is accused of shooting a man in the head in the apartment building right here behind me and then dismembering his body. 48-year-old Sheldon Johnson of Harlem is charged with murder.
Wow, holy shit, there he is. Look at that. It's Joe Rogan's best friend.
Concealment of a human corpse. This is Johnson recently on Joe Rogan's podcast talking about how he had turned his life around.
Oh, that's bad.
And it's
that's bad.
Someone who criticizes Joe Rogan, it's wild how this story kind of slipped through the crack.
It really did. I didn't even hear about this.
And a lot of people are holding Joe Rogan to account for it. And it's, again, so much profound fucked up shit here that is going to be detrimental, first off, to people who want to advocate for things like prison abolition, prison reform, and stuff like that, because they happen to get a spokesperson for this topic who also dismembered a person, like, prior to the interview. Like, again, just...
Oh, wait a minute. This was before... So he had already committed the crime and then went on Joe Rogan? I didn't even... What?
Modicum of research. If this is something that you actually want to bring attention to, if you want to talk about it, because it is a real problem. It is a fundamentally racist problem. It is a grotesquerie of the United States, the mass incarceration issue. Definitely talk about that. Bring on an advocate who can talk about this, who hasn't cut off someone's head, I would say.
A life of crime. Well, police say Johnson's life of crime apparently was not over. He is accused of shooting 44-year-old Colin Small in the head in Small's 6th-floor apartment on Summit Avenue and then dismembering his body.
I hate to say this, but Joe Rogan is responsible for this. Not entirely, of course, but he told us that he was immune to bullshit.
When bullshit hits me, I'm go, oh, I know what this...
You know what? As silly as it is kind of like that's kind of the problem is like, Joe considers himself, the man's man comic, he's just a comedian, but he can look at things more objectively than others and just be like, oh, well, I'm coming at this looking at it from a funny perspective, blah, blah, blah. But also when this whole BS detector thing, yeah.
This is, I grew up without a dad.
His words.
I grew up without a dad.
Guys, and
I did. I grew up with my dad. My dad's actually a pretty cool guy.
So, I can only assume his alarms were blaring inside his head during this entire interview, right? Surely Joe, with his power to detect, would be obligated to alert the authorities about this ticking time bomb of a trickster criminal murder man. But he didn't. He didn't say anything, not even a peep. I don't know if you guys remember this, but Joe also told us that he was our scout. He was supposed to be the guy running up ahead and detecting and flagging threats like this so the rest of us could journey safely forward. And remember, these are his words, guys, so if you want to argue against them, realize...
Oh, yeah, Abby Martin.
...as you are arguing against Joe himself. And please remember to provide that supplementary essay.
I'm like a scout, right? Like if you sent me down the trail. You go, hey, I want you to go down the trail and gather up like a couple 100 million downloads a month and tell us what's up. Yeah, this is what it's like. And I'm like, hey, there's a cliff. We're running towards a cliff. Stop, everybody stop. We gotta hit the fucking brakes. And they're like, you're an anti-vaxxer. And they just fucking keep going. You don't believe in science.
See, like, this is what is just so profoundly fucked up about the Joe Rogan experience. And honestly, Spotify, you're complicit. You're completely complicit in all of this. There has to be some responsibility. Like, when social media grows to a certain size, once your presence grows to a certain size, once you have a larger audience than most national television shows, right? If you have 11 million, actually it's more now. I think that the latest numbers were like he's up to like 13. But if you have that many people who listen to your words, then yeah, you do have a responsibility towards who you platform, towards who you bring on. If you're going to bring on a person who's like, oh, you don't need to get vaccinated if you're young and healthy. No, apparently this COVID, it cannot hurt you if you're a strong man. So depending, if your audience is kind of susceptible to male insecurity because you've been, peddling that for a very long time, and the idea of having low T and all that kind of stuff might really, fuck up a lot of young men's minds, and now they feel they don't have to get the vaccine. Well, of that percentage, there's going to be some people who get long COVID, there's going to be some people who get hospitalized, and there's going to be some people who die when you do that. That is going to be profoundly fucked up, right? There probably should be, again, all I'm asking for is a Jamie 2. And Jamie 2. Jamie 1 can do the real time. I don't know if that's right, sir. Jamie 2 can vet the people coming on beforehand to find out whether or not they've murdered and dismembered a person. Oh, hey, you're listening to the Joe Rogan Experience. The guest he's bringing on today is known in the scientific community as a quack. What he says is dangerous.
Yeah, except that's the thing. They're kind of looking for confirmation bias, like with what they already believe. Like, you kind of forget that, like, Rogan is bringing these people on because he already has listened to them, so he just wants his confirmation bias, essentially.
Is unsafe and could harm you. You should not listen to any of the advice. It is not medical advice.
Confirmation bias confirmed is what I meant.
It is not sound. It is dangerous. Thank you. You know, something even on that level would be a slight amelioration.
Presumably had gone off on this guy. And what's really crazy is that Joe moved to Texas to avoid paying taxes on his big Spotify payout. But the cursed flip side to that decision is that Texas also has the death penalty. Oof. Man, sometimes the decisions we make in life have consequences we could never in our wildest dreams imagine.
Oh, you're telling me there's an actual advocate for, abolishing the death penalty. That's where we just walk up to any deaf person, just slap them in the side of the head, and just hope that it restarts their hearing. That's the death penalty.
Well, I guess that's a wrap for Joe, guys. Even with Joe's fake black belt that his friend gave him in exchange for advertising his gym.
Yeah, I know it was bad.
I don't think he can squirm out of this one. But if you're against the death penalty, the silver lining here is that it's guaranteed the army of Republican Joe fans in Texas would actually get rid of it to save his ass. The cursed flip side to that, however, is that Joe is going to have to become a fundamentalist Christian. So watch out for that, guys. He's going to do it soon. You'll see, I've been calling it for years.
Unfortunately, the problem with living in a sect...
Oh my God, he's not as funny as he's trying to be. I could totally see that being the next... Oh my God, Russell Brand. He's going to bring Russell Brand on, and that's going to convert him.
Secular society, a society that has a lot of people that are atheists, that have no belief system at all. They've subscribed to the religion of woke.
Oh, cool.
Cool. That's my religion. Cool. Thank you for telling. Yeah, you know what? I was wondering where I was going to fit in.
Rolls on. People are going to understand the need.
It's true. I do pray at the Temple of Woke every single morning. It's
I beat you to it, fucker.
how I get my virtue signal points, and then I can cash those in.
Need to have.
All right, his was better, though. He gets to cash in his virtue signal points. Damn it!
Have some sort of divine structure to things.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it's a fucked up world we live in.
Oh, for what you ask? For gay sex. That's how it works. You have to pray at the Temple of Woke. You get the woke points, and you can cash those in for all the delicious gay sex you want.
We need Jesus.
He's almost there, guys.
Like, for real. Like, Jesus, if you...
Can I get, like, a kale smoothie instead?
Thinking about coming back?
Right now?
Now's a good time.
Yeah, pretty soon, yeah.
Now's a good time. We're kind of fucked.
Well, there's a lot of people that think that might be coming.
Just when I thought Brett Favre was the worst Packer.
Well, it might be.
Mark of the beast.
That might be the aliens. I mean...
Again, who listens to this shit? There's not enough time in the day to finish tasks I need to do. Okay, I've been wanting to paint the bathroom for so long. Who has time to sit there and listen to this fucking again?
You do. You do. Yeah, you just don't need to be recording.
And just it reminds me of the most annoying stone conversations you ever had in high school, where the other person all of a sudden thinks that they've just stumbled upon some kind of brilliant observation when all they're saying is that, like, clouds would be fun to hug. You ever look up at clouds and think,
yo, dude, if you're stoned and somebody says that shit, then you can do the appropriate thing and laugh hysterically instead of just being like, oh, this is a stupid stoner conversation.
Like, man, that would feel really cool to hug them because they look like fluffy and shit. Holy shit, bro. Hugging clouds? Yeah, that next level. I know, right? I know. Like, that's the Joe Rogan.
You're also kind of a douche.
Experience. That's what every episode feels.
I mean, seriously, I hate how people do that with getting stoned. Like, I get it. Like, Cheech and Chong, the whole, like, stoner culture thing. But realistically, I know so many people within my own life where we do have pretty decent conversations, even the silly ones when we're stoned, but it's never just like, whoa, man, did you know that my toes were like, there's 10 of them and I got 10 fingers too, man. Do you ever wonder why? Like, we got the number 20 is just like so ingrained, you know, like we all got the 20, at least most of us. Some of us even get, you know, you got an 11th finger, man.
Feels like when I see clips of this shit, and it's like, yeah, I mean, some people do want Jesus to return. Apparently that could happen.
Yeah, that's a whole nother video for me.
That is a thing that could happen in the physical.
Yeah, kind of went to a school where they really wanted that to happen, and while I was there.
Physical and material world of our understanding of how the universe works. Yes, a person.
That's why I think it's kind of wacky where it's like, oh, these people who think that, revelation is happening now. I think it's that is the most profoundly selfish fucking way of thinking. Like, do you know how many people read the book of Revelation ever since it was written? And then they were just like, that's us.
Who was crucified thousands of years ago
and who were wrong
could return to planet Earth in order to bring the second coming. That is a thing that could happen. Or aliens. Or it could be aliens.
And that might be
the Anunnaki.
That might be what all this stuff is.
It's the Anunnaki. It's the actual giant warlord Yahweh from the Anunnaki who came here to, was it the gold particles in the air and blah, blah, blah.
There it is, guys. He's already revealed the way he's going to smoothly pivot right into it, and that's by simply readjusting his classic alien shtick, and his comedy is where the woke meets the wall stuff, into born-again Christianity. Going to be a fun little era in the JRE, and I can't wait.
Hey, I don't think he's wrong.
So what do you guys think? Was Joe completely wrong about his BS detector, or is he culpable for this sick crime? It's one or the other, guys. If he's not culpable, that means the detector doesn't work, and maybe never even existed in the first place. And if the detector never existed, what else has he been duped by, guys? Just something to think about. All right, guys, that's it for now. If you want to go down the Joe Rogan origin story rabbit hole, check out my other video, The Rise of the Undertoad.
So, hey, I don't know the reason for Elephant Graveyard unlisting that other video. It could be because the Joe Rogan fans got just that big mad. And honestly, fucking grow a pair, okay? Or whatever you got to do. Like, at the end of the day, if you're getting upset at the fact that, like, someone criticized your daddy and did it well, like, he uses clips from Joe Rogan's own stand-up special to point out how Joe Rogan, and I didn't know this because I hadn't watched the special, bombed in his own special multiple times, reused old jokes that he had done in other specials, and then stole other people's jokes. Also, the titty sweat was the thing that happened.
Yeah, it is really funny. And it's also funny just how, like, anybody can watch that special and then go like, Joe is still the funniest and he's still the smartest, and I'm just gonna get so mad and I'm gonna go protect him. I'm gonna make sure that this small YouTuber knows my thoughts.
Like that's too much for you. If you're like, leave Joe alone. It's like the guy is a fucking 100 millionaire. He lives in a mansion. He gives two fucks about you.
These guys, yeah, these big alpha men who totally, prop up Donald Trump and Joe Rogan, and just they do nothing but constantly think about those two guys, and yeah, I just want to be like Trump daddy. I want to be like Joe Rogan. Yeah, and then they are the softest. Snowflake has kind of gone out of style, but they're the snowflakiest of snowflakes.
He does not love you. He does not care about you. He doesn't know you.
No. And it's the same with Trump. And I mean, you can say the same about any politician realistically, but I mean, say that about the Walls guy, Tim Walls. Yeah, you can't.
At all, all right? The guy's living in his fucking weird-ass mansion with his big old bathtubs full of ice and his gigantic nipples, all that weird shit. That's his life. He's gonna be fine.
Hey, if you'd like to...
I would love to know what his daughters think of him. Just like, is he one of those dads? Or like, do they think that he's cool and like that his influence is cool? Or do you think that they think he's lame? Because every kid, especially teenagers, I mean... News flash, they think that their parents are lame. And the ones I gotta be honest, the ones that like were way friendly with their parents and like their parents were like super cool, that was always weird to me as like a teenager, where I'm just like, yeah, but why are you guys so invested in being the cool parents? Because yeah, there's something up with that. And sure enough, you found out that one of the moms was totally sleeping with the 15-year-old. So, yeah. And that was the Christian community. Fun times. Well, now we kind of have more of a better idea of what happened with the Elephant Graveyard's video. And I did double check. It is back up. He did not edit it. I think it really was just he got mass flagged. So that's, very unfortunate. But the Surf Times, for the most part, like his coverage of things, he does annoy me. Sometimes his laugh is definitely a little bit insufferable. And I know how we all get. My laugh is, I'm sure I piss off a bunch of you guys with my laugh, but his is specifically to me annoying. But he seems like a nice guy. Would love to talk to him. But yeah, great way to do that by just being like, oh, your laugh sucks. But whatever. I'm just trying to be fucking fair here. Anyway, So, yeah, check out the Surf Times. I'll put the link in my description. I'll also relink Elephant Graveyard because we all know that I love that guy. But yeah, you know the deal. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.